What I love working with Dot about the most is it's just he's super easygoing, you know. The vibes are always laid back. We're usually just kicking it at his crib. And like honestly, I love making music at the house way more than being at the studio or anything like that. It just feels way more relaxed, fun, and I feel like I've made all my best music at the crib. So for Strong Friends, I basically had the beat done actually before we went over his house that day. I remember me and Sean were just chilling in the morning, and I was just kind of like working off like the little Bluetooth speaker that I had, and I was just kind of messing around and came across this little vocal chop in Arcade, and it sounded like. I don't know, something about it just gave me a very like soulful feeling. So I was like, let me try adding some like jazzy type chords. So just a little piano sound, simple chords. Layered it with another like distorted type piano. Little bird texture sounds. I always like adding like little texture noises in the intros with the vocal. And that's really like the meat of the record, like as far as like the melody. That's kind of like the basis of it. During the verse, I just dropped the piano down like an octave. And then a lot of the drums, I think it was just stock drums that I used, like Logic hi-hats, triplet bounce, and everything. Like I knew I wanted to use like acoustic sounds on this one just to keep it more like authentic. Rim shot, kick, layered the kick, couple more percussions and hi-hats. I think all the drums on this I actually did on the machine. Like another kick and clap. And that's really the basis of the beat. Everything else is kind of like ear candy, so there's this more vocal textures. I think these were also from Arcade. And then I think at the very end of the verses, I put this little guitar texture, just as like a transitional element. And that's honestly really the beat. The only other thing that changes is during Olu's verse, I kind of changed the piano, the way it's kind of played. It's more like staccato instead of like held out. So it goes like, more textural elements like chimes just as transitional pieces. And then on the second half, I think I added one more vocal element. It's something about the vocal textures, I don't know, for that, it like makes and breaks beats for me. Like all my favorite beats I think I've made, I've always put like a little vocal sample in there. And honestly, yeah, that's the beat. I think at the end, there's some, our homie Benji added bass on it, and that's about it. This one was a fairly easy one to make. Something a lot of people might not know. Actually, this beat, I don't even know if Dot remembers this, but I had a saxophone in it in the very beginning, and I remember he told me to take it out. But it was kind of... Obviously taking it out, it gives more room for the vocals and whatnot. I definitely see what he saw. But yeah, that's Strong Friends. So Power, another record that we started at Dot's house at the legendary space station. Me, Sean, Dot, we were just kind of chilling, doing our thing. I was just messing around on the computer. So I was looking for just something on Splice that I could just get some inspiration from. Ended up finding this piano sound. Just kind of like the main melody of everything. Super dark. So I was like, okay, let me just keep adding to that. Ended up messing around on Arcade. I was like kind of looking for a vocal to add on top of it. Came across this ethnic vocal sample. I think it was from the Celestial Chance Pack. Super fire together. A couple little ear candies on top of it, just like a piano layer. Some static noise. Those like 3 sounds are really like the meat of the record. The drums, I remember for the drop, I actually did the drums for this one in FL Studio. Nothing too crazy. Basic hi-hat pattern. Just this constant steady one. Kick was pretty simple too. Little rim shots. 808's pretty simple too. The only thing I really did extra was like the little reverse sweep at the second bar. But that was really the drop. Four little drum instruments. And then kind of with the vocal sample, I can play it again so y'all can hear it. And that's really the drop. And just bring in the elements from the intro one by one to just kind of make it move a little bit more. And anybody that knows me, I never make dark beats. Like everybody that knows me, I'm always making smooth shit. So it was just like nice to have like a record like this, especially like with the topics they're talking about. It's just super legendary. And Dot recorded like his verse and the chorus, even like everything that CeeLo's singing for real. Like he kind of had like the melodies and everything already outlined. And then I think the next day we took it to like their studio house, and I think I met Olu for the first time like the week before or something like that. And then he's really big on like beat switch ups and stuff like that. So I was kind of happy about that because I had a switch up already that I had on the second half of the song, but I think he wanted to do it a little bit differently. So I had this fill. It was like, and he liked the drums from that fill. So what we did was we just like individually chopped those drums in Machine, and he kind of made a new pattern out of it, and it goes a little bit like. A little bass line on top of that. I think just contact bass. And the only other thing that we added in that part was the halftime vocal. Same vocal as the beginning, just half-timed. Then it goes back into the other drums. And then everything else, like the ear candy that you hear, like the guitars and like the bass line during the chorus and stuff like that, it was just Rance, the homie Tane, and that's about it. And that was Power.